All right, here we are. I've got my glide bait boxes. You want to see inside of these. You want to see inside of the ones that I carry with me on the road, put on the water, on my line, when the money's on the line. You want to see those. I got them right in here. I'm gonna show them to you. I carry a couple of them in the boat most of the times, and I carry a couple extras in the truck. I have plenty more glides over here. I've got stupid amounts of glide baits. Other than that, I'm gonna show you the ones that stay in my boat, and then the ones that a couple of special ones that I'll put in the boat from time to time. But right here is what I call my small glides. Now these are Zappu board weights, because sometimes you need to weight them, get them down a little bit deeper. That's a whole different video, actually, whole different deal. But we'll start kind of from the smaller ones and go up. Here's one of the smaller ones that I throw quite a bit. This is the Clutch Eco, and I like to mess with them and call it the Echo, but it's the Eco. It's a small little bait. You can throw it on a conventional rod. You don't really need a glide bait rod to throw it on, and you can throw it on like a 7.3 medium heavy, and 18-16 pound test. It can be very choppy, but you can also steady reel it, and it has a nice thump to it. That is a very good one. They have different colors, but this is I think the gizzard shad. That one's good, really good. This is another small bait. It's called the Muscle Hamster by Black Talon, and you pretty much can't find these things. This is the raw, unpainted one. This thing, whenever you get it in kind of stained water with some sunlight, especially tannic water, man, it glows. A lot of glide bait anglers love that unpainted look, because that bait kind of glows, and it really triggers a lot of strikes. But the Muscle Hamster, if you do happen to get your hands on them, I like a little board weight on there. The smallest one makes a big difference in being able to fish it properly. It is kind of a choppy glide bait, so just be aware of that. You can reel it as well, but coming out of the box, pretty much stays real high in the water column. So that is a really good one. This is a Tato bluegill. The Tato is Josh Heron down in Alabama. It's one of Matt Heron's sons. Josh makes some glide baits that are really good. This is a smaller one. It's a little bluegill. You can crank this thing, and it just makes your rod thump like a chatterbait. But you can also chop it a little bit. You can stop it and chop it a little bit, and it's still it's a good little versatile bait. I don't have any weight on there. It stays real high in the water column. You can mess around putting weight on that as well. As we go down, this is one of the original KGB shads, because again, this is kind of that raw finished. I don't know what they call this thing, raw bloodbath, something like that. It's got that red on the sides, but that thing, the Chad shad is very choppy. I really like the Spro Chad shad. It's very choppy as well. It's the ABS version. If you're fishing around docks, stuff like that, I'm probably going to go to the Spro version, so you don't worry about beating it up a little bit. But this is the original resin version, and very choppy. Like that one. That one stays with me at all times. And then down here, I've got two Clutch darters. It's the blue back, and this is the brown back. They're both foiled sides. This is a very different type of a glide bait. This is very much a tournament glide bait. Justin Kimmel worked with Josh at Clutch to try to make this more of a herring profile. And when this bait, you see it's very choppy. On a steady retrieve, this thing doesn't do anything. You really have to, work your reel handle to make this thing kind of chop back and forth. But this is very much a tournament glide bait. You can see it's a little smaller, skinnier profile, but man, a bunch of pros on the Elite Series have been fishing these and catching a bunch of fish. Patrick Walters, Brandon Polinick, myself, and others been fishing that one for a few years. That is a really good glide bait. That's kind of my small box that I typically take with me. Now, as far as my big box goes, I basically got it's a big box. There's only 3 baits in there, but that's what I've got. The one I've got 2 of. This is a phony shad. Phony Frog. They're made here in Virginia, and it's very realistic gizzard shad profile and shape and color. Jason does a really good job on his paint job. Looks exactly like a gizzard shad. He has some really cool different colors, and of course, you know, these ones also have the rotating line ties, which I'm a big fan of, especially for the bigger glide baits. And then I have a special color. This is Jason gave me the special color. This is more if the water's off colored a little bit. It's got more of a pop to it. Might see that down in Florida, maybe. But here's one of the more popular bigger glide baits. This is the Boss by Clutch. It's very choppy, and it's got a big profile, but it's very thin. So it doesn't weigh a whole lot compared to what some of the other bigger glide baits do. So you can, I mean, you still need a swim bait rod to throw this on, but it's very, very choppy, and you can weight these. I don't have any weights on this particular one right at the moment, but you can weight these and fish them deeper, 8, 10, 15 feet deep. You can get them down there to where some of those big bass live, but that is a very good, and this will stay real high in the water column if you want it to. That is a very good. Love that bait right there, that Boss. That's one of my favorites if I'm going for that bigger profile. And I think because it's got that thin body, it doesn't, you know, you have really good hookup ratios. But right here we have a different color muscle hamster. I showed you that one earlier. This is the Hogfather Jr. from Matt McBee down there. Hogfather, Tater Hog Baits, the Hogfather Jr. He has some of the most amazing shad looking paint jobs. I mean, just beautiful. That's it is very much a tournament bait right there. You may need to add weight to it depending on how you're fishing it, but coming out of the box, that thing sits very high in the water column. Actually I have two of those. Look at that, because I like it so much. This is one of the OG glide baits right here. This is a Roman made negotiator. I always keep a shad looking one of these around. I have caught a ton of fish on a negotiator over the years. I know Zaldane shares my love of the negotiator as well, because it is one of the OGs. It has when you just steady reel, it has really a wide swim action. You can chop it a little bit. You can't get too crazy with it like a Chad shad, but it's very much a good, it's not too big. You can throw it unconventional. It's kind of thick, but I've had really good hookup ratios. I've caught some giants on Lake Fork over the years, and I'm talking like, you know, up to 10 years ago. And then down here I've got two more clutch darters. I've got one in that kind of bone color, one in the Tackle Warehouse colors. So that's kind of rolling through that one. We're gonna go here to my backup big box, show you what's in here. Here's the original Hogfather. This is one of the baits that Zaldane made famous on Bassmaster Live, smashing big ones. As I think at that same tournament, I was taking this bait and riding it around in the boat and not even throwing it. So that is a very good big glide bait, and it's got the little hinge in there that you can take that out and adjust. So if you want to make it a little more choppy, or if you want to tighten up that joint and make it to where it just swims really wide, you can do it either way. It's set up, this one's, you know, comes kind of set up in between, but you can adjust it either way and make it more choppy, or you can make it more of a wide, steady swim. Those are kind of the two different styles of glide baits, if you weren't really aware. But this is the 8-inch Tato Glide Eon. Love this paint job. It's a little brighter, but golly Moses, it's very realistic. And I like that how it really pops. It's almost white, got the white tail on it, kind of pops. But the Tato Eons are very good all around glide baits. This again, another one from Josh Heron. Just you need a heavier rod, but it's still relatively a thin glide bait. So that thinner glide bait will definitely, I feel like, you know, you can catch 3-pounders on that bait, no problem. It's not too fat and too wide to kind of get in your face and you know, block the hooks. But this is the depth's 250. This is one of the early glide baits. This is one of the you know, original glide baits that kind of put everything on the map. Butch Brown, he you know, was the one that really kind of pioneered the 250 and how to modify them. A lot of guys out west were modifying these things. I mean, he's not the only one, but he really kind of figured it out and dialed it in. And believe it or not, this is one that he actually tuned. A little connection over there, and we sent this one out to him. This is one of the newer, I think, American shad. I don't know what the name of this color is, but it looks amazing to me. But he actually took it and tuned it the way he tunes it, puts the Gamakatsu treble hooks on it as he does, and it is perfectly tuned, and it is made for fishing deeper. This one is not made for fishing higher in the water column because you got that extra weight in it, and he extended the joint out a little bit, so it makes it a little more choppy, so he can do some cool things with it. I, for the longest time, was very scared to throw that glide bait because I didn't want to lose it because it's almost kind of a one of a kind. And Byron, my director of sales buddy, and he had one tuned as well, and we were almost kind of scared to throw them. I've got other depths 250s up here, a couple of them, and they look amazing, but none of them are tuned by the man himself. So got to show you one of the most prized glides in my collection, and I'm carrying this around now, but I honestly, I'm be totally honest, I haven't figured out all the little intricacies of how to fish this bait. But this is a hinkle shad right here. Andrew Hinkle makes this bad boy right here, and this is the hinkle shad. I had Jen Cravasi, Jekyll Baits, paint this. She's down in Georgia. She paints a lot of the buka baits. I don't have any buka baits in my stuff. I've thrown a lot of trick shads. I've actually got one of the smaller buka trick shads that I do keep with me in my spares. So I didn't. I'll show you. I'll jump and show you that. But this is one she painted. I wanted a kind of a darker, duller looking gizzard, and that thing came out amazing. So I'm continuing to learn this. I've got to get it weighted just right, and then figure out how to throw it properly. But that's one of those. I think it's cool. They have the little pipe cleaner, red pipe cleaners under the gills. It just looks realistic. A lot of these fish come from the underside to hit that thing, and when they go to headshot it, if they go to headshot it looking at it forward, you know, I feel like they see that little red flash right where they're supposed to see the red flash, and then good night. So that's the hinkle shad. It is not a choppy bait. It is definitely made for more of like the slow, steady retrieve, and you get that bait making real wide swings, open water. It's got the rotating. I mean, it's one of the most iconic glide baits out there. He's got the trout as well, and the trick trout, which I have one of those, but maybe we'll show you that at another time. But I'm gonna show you that buka bait that I do have. This is one that that Jen sent me. I said I need a perch. She said I got you. So this is one she sent me, a little small buka. Man, that thing's a little translucent perch. But I carry that with me as well. I have a couple here, that, and I have a custom painted darter. I've caught a bunch of fish up north, or whenever I want to throw that. These are kind of my spares, and I've got a spare boss, and then I've got also a spare KGB Legend that I keep handy in case I get into a situation where I'm fishing the bigger glides and I want to bring them all in. So I have all the options. But there's kind of the glide collection that I keep with me on the road. If anybody has any questions, or they say, they look at my collection, you say, man, you are missing this, or you are missing that, please let me know. I want to know. I don't need to be having a million glide baits. I just need to have the ones that they can kind of fill all the slots that I need, and that I need to learn them even better. Like I said, I was talking about the hinkle shad. It is amazing bait. It's caught zillions of big fish. Big, you know, everybody knows Milliken's a big fan of the hinkle shad. So those are the baits I keep with me. If anybody has any questions, drop them down there. As always, appreciate you watching.